2022's Babylon, by director Damien Chazelle, was a bit of a flop, grossing only $56 million on a budget of up to $80 million. It divided critics with the general consensus praising its production elements from cinematography to score and to production design, but criticizing its 3-hour runtime, outrageous content, and convoluted plotlines. I think that Babylon is perfectly fine, trying a little too hard to be outrageous and being completely overstuffed. But yeah, it looks and sounds fantastic. My view is aligned with most critics, although I think I see something more within its nonsensical plot. The potential for Babylon to have been something far greater. My name is Aidan Green, and this is how Babylon was almost great. And if you like what you see here, please do consider subscribing, because I love talking about movies and TV shows. It's my bread, it's my butter. Is that a sin? Probably somewhere. Babylon spoilers to come. The central theme of Babylon revolves around the toxic nature of the Hollywood system, how it uses people for a period of time before spitting them out on the street to become nobodies. The 1920s backdrop provides the perfect circumstances to explore this theme, highlighting its problematic nature from the very beginning, when film sound was first invented. This was a period of massive change for the film industry, where actors and crew were essentially forced to adapt to new technology and techniques, or leave. It was seemingly the most cutthroat period of this cutthroat industry. Our three main protagonists all experience this change in different ways. Brad Pitt's Jack Conrad struggles to adapt to performing with sound. His now vocal performances become laughable to the average viewer, with people quickly losing respect for him. Ultimately, after realizing his Hollywood time is done, Jack commits suicide. Margot Robbie's Nellie Leroy, a somewhat newcomer to the scene, battles the new techniques used for sound recording, struggling to cope with the high demands of the sound team. She turns to drugs, inevitably pushing her towards her demise. Diego Calva portrays Manny Torres, who, after finding success in the studio system, cuts off ties with his Mexican roots and becomes a part of what made Hollywood what it is today. Eventually, after a pretty nonsensical series of events, Manny escapes death and ultimately the Hollywood system. Within our main characters, we can see that fame and success is not forever. Babylon showcases the consequences of the Hollywood system. Some may take their own life, some turn to drugs, and the lucky few escape it. It's striking how this is still a reflection of the society that we know today. Introduced in the final act is an arc revolving around a character called James McKay, portrayed by none other than Tobey Maguire. In what is probably some of my favourite moments in the film, James leads some of our characters to a community of ex-performers whose time in Hollywood has come to an end, instead showcasing their talent in the darker corners of society, embodying the outrageous and illegal behaviours of what the city once was before it developed a more respectable image. These ex-performers reflect those who were left with nothing after being spat out by the system, unable to contribute to society outside of their craft. They are the victims of the Hollywood system, those abandoned and left to rot underground. Focusing more on the film's final act and spending more time down there would have provided a tighter ending, one more in line with its themes. We see this theme reflected through its casting, with Tobey Maguire, an actor, though beloved by many Spidey fans, has certainly been pushed out of the system. He's an actor whose career was damaged by the flop that was Spider-Man 3, an arc similar to the characters in Babylon. Maguire is an example of how important casting decisions are. As audiences, we always come into a film with preconceptions of actors. So this theme of the toxic nature of the Hollywood system is represented in so many different areas. I think it's such a shame that Babylon is so jam full of other different things that it never really sticks the landing with the message. There's a lot of people that I talk to that don't get this same response as me from the film, and that's because film is always subjective. But I also do think there's a fact that there is so much in this film that it's hard to find what the true story actually is, what Chazelle is actually trying to say, because, you know, we have that montage at the end, which for me was just so pompous and I didn't like it at all. I'd love to one day maybe see a shorter version of this film, like a 80-minute cut of it, where it gets rid of all the fat, all the excess stuff, and focuses on these characters and their storylines and their entry into Hollywood and then their demise. We don't need snake bites. We don't need an elephant shitting on the camera. This stuff is just, it's stupid and added nothing to the film other than its runtime. There's so much going on in the film that so much of the messaging becomes lost. There's a definite theme of death and one's fear of mortality in there, but it's convoluted with so many other murky themes and scenes that the point becomes completely lost. If Babylon was to focus on the central theme that I highlighted today, then I think it really could have been great. Babylon was almost great. If you like this video, please do consider liking and subscribing, because I talk about movies, and the more of you guys that I get to see rocking up in the comments and stuff, the more encouraging it is to talk about movies with you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very, very soon. Goodbye.